Three very cute and fluffy tiger cubs stumbled across the floor to check out the new arrivals. With their big blue eyes and huge oversized paws, the cubs were utterly gorgeous. For once, even Bindi and Robert were speechless. "Aren't they beautiful?" asked Cameron. Everyone nodded vigorously. Cameron stared down at the cubs with the same pride as any new father. After all, he'd been feeding this little one their bottled formula around the clock for the past few weeks. Cameron ran the tiger enclosure back at Australia Zoo, as well as being a trained veterinarian. He was an authority on all things tiger. They were his passion. "Can we pet them?" asked Bindi. They were only 12 weeks old and still small. She wasn't sure whether they were safe to handle. Of course, Cameron knelt down to pick up the cub closest to him. "Be careful. They are a handful, especially that chitty bloke." Cameron pointed to one of the cubs. "Which one?" asked Robert. "The one eating your backpack," replied Cameron. Robert turned to see one of the cubs gnawing on the strap of his bag. "Hey, keep your paws off, furball." As Robert inspected the damage of his bag, an orange blur sweated it out of his grasp and pounced on the frayed strap. "They do love to wrestle," noted Cameron. "So do I," said Robert. He looked at the three bundles of mischief and sized them up. Bindi giggled. "In the red corner we have the Tiger Trio, and in the blue corner we have Robert Irwin, the thunder from down under." Robert growled and leaped into the wrestling ring, followed closely by three pouncing tigers. It sure is good to finally be here," Terry said as she sank into one of the wooden chairs against the wall. What they were doing was a world first. These three cubs would be coming back to Australia Zoo as part of a zoo exchange with Indonesia. They were going to be the first tigers to come out of Sumatra since 1976. Cameron sat down next to Terry, exhausted. "These three have me run ragged. I have to feed them every 3 hours or I don't hear the end of it." Terry laughed. "You are like a mom with triplets. Don't worry. Now that we are here, we can set up a roster so we all take turns." Bindi and Robert were now both rolling around the floor with the cubs. "Tigers are the best," exclaimed Bindi. As Cameron watched the fun, an idea popped into his head. "There is the Tiger Protection Patrol about to head out into the national park," he said. "One of the male tigers has disappeared from his home territory. They are worried about poachers and the tiger getting hurt. What do you say to Bindi joining me?" Terry nodded. "Just try stopping her. Robert and I can look after the cubs." Cameron asked, "Hey Bindi, want to head out into the forest with me and see if we can spot a wild tiger?" The expression on Bindi's face was answer enough.